hotel in Las Vegas. Here's our host, Allison.
Episode of Fool Us. Tonight, it's Penn and Teller against the world. Each season, we search for the best magic on Earth, and tonight we lined up acts from all four corners of the globe. Penn and Teller have never seen these performers and likely aren't familiar with their methods or mentors. Ladies and gentlemen, with the weight of the world on their shoulders, here are Penn and Teller. Teller wins an all-expenses-paid trip to Las Vegas to perform in their legendary magic show. So let's look at our first contender.
In Japan, there are ancient magic families that teach their own styles of magic. I was crazy about magic, so I joined the Fujiyama family to learn. They are the only family that still teaches a traditional Japanese style. At first, I learned other things like traditional art, dancing, and music. Then, when I was ready, they taught me tricks and techniques. I want to show the world the beauty of the Japanese culture and to keep its traditional magic alive. Tonight, I'm bringing this to Penn and Teller, and the secrets I inherited from the Fujiyama family is how I plan to fool them.
Please welcome Taijyu Fujiyama. That was so beautiful.
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
Can you explain the story behind that magic performance?
これは一匹の狐がいろいろなキャラクターに分けて皆さんを驚かすという意味です。
That's so beautiful. My daughter's studying Japan, so she taught me if you show deep respect, you bow fully. Is she right? Is she a good student?
前にかがんだりするんですけれども、彼女は正しく日本を勉強できているでしょうか? I think so.
Good. Yay. Good. Thank you. How did you know about Fool Us? I might have asked a trick question.
YouTube だけですね。
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the guys and see if they figured out how you did it.
Wow, I'm so glad that we're finally getting different kinds of magic on the show. I mean, this is the kind of magic that we were not brought up with. It's not our style. And also, it's great. And it uses some techniques of magic that are really, really important. It uses repetition where it looks like kind of the same trick, but it's done a different way. And there's a different method on all of the masks. So it's really wonderful. We loved that. Absolutely adored that. We also loved how there's choreographed movement, in Western magic. You very much want to make everything look as natural as possible. We're always trying to be natural. But in this, you had that choreographed movement that looks just wonderful. And we loved the way the costume was perfect. It looks perfect for the act and also helps the act. The movement is perfect. The parasols, the fans. We loved every bit of this and loved how different it is. And we think with a little of what we said, if you can translate that properly, it's impossible to translate some of this, I know. But I hope you can get across that we loved it and think we have a pretty good idea of how it was put together. I don't want to give away too much, although you can if you want in your language.
まず最初に非常に素晴らしいと思います。で、本当にクリエイティブで素晴らしいものだと思いました。で、あらゆるメソッドとかそのパラソルのところとかセンスを使ったところとかいろんなところをうまく合わせて、で、古い手法であったり新しい手法であったりとそういったものをうまく組み合わせることによって非常に新しい世界を見ることができたと思います。
Word for word. Word for word. Better than Google.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Taijyu Fujiyama. Time for a break. More of the best magic on TV coming up.
I'm Hartling, and I'm from Frankfurt, Germany. I might be one of the most un-German Germans there is. I mean, I don't drive a car, no beer. I'd rather have a glass of orange juice to a beer any day. And I do comedy. And at the same time, I've always taken magic quite seriously. I learned English and Spanish to read magic books just to be able to learn and get to know more. So I've been into magic since I was 10. For me, it was all one big, fun adventure, and that hasn't really changed. I'm usually quite sharing and very open, but for some reason, this trick, I've always held a bit close to the vest. Now, it's time to try and fool Penn and Teller with that.
Along with two randomly selected members of our audience, welcome the card magic of Pitt Hartling.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Well, you've heard it. My name is Pitt. I am officially Germany's most successful magician in the weight class under 130 pounds. So, there you go. And we have with us tonight Terry, right? And what's your name? Connor. Connor. Thank you for helping. Now, I think I may have made an interesting discovery. about the physical properties of a deck of cards, right? But to show you that, it's important that the cards are really well shuffled. So we shuffle that, maybe give them one of these as well. And Connor, you know, after shuffling a deck, you always need to cut the cards, okay? Yep. So maybe if you could maybe move half over there for me, so we know the deck is shuffled and cut. Okay, very good. So, no, okay, I'm kidding. It's just to see who's paying attention. We try that again, okay? Maybe if you can cut one more time. And then, of course, I have to take the bottom half and place it on top, right? And then we're good. Okay. So, now, come on. This whole fooling thing is tougher than I thought, really. But you know what, Connor? Can you take those cards and you shuffle them, okay? You mix up the deck so you can be really sure everything is well mixed. And yeah, you keep shuffling. You can actually shuffle as much as you like, because I'm going to do this trick with this deck anyway. Yeah, it's just otherwise, okay. No, you keep shuffling. We actually, we need both decks, okay? So here we shuffle that again. 2 thoroughly shuffled decks. Oh, and by the way, those are real shuffles, okay? So they're not strange magic kind of things, real honest shuffles, okay? Are you happy with your shuffle?
I like that too.
Oh, maybe you did all the work. Maybe another round of applause for our shuffler here. Connor, thank you for helping. That's really good. And I noticed one day that decks of playing cards actually behave a lot like musical instruments. So they can be in tune or out of tune with one another, and you can actually synchronize decks using sound waves. Now, it may sound strange. Have you ever synchronized decks? No. Here's how that goes. First, you look at the top card. For example, here we have a king, okay, king of spades. Can you see that? Okay. Could you hold on to that, maybe, just in your hand there? And let's look, the other card here is an ace, for example. So it's not the same card. But we are going to change that right now. And we just use the right frequency. So if you could hold that in your left hand there, and then slowly and softly move it a bit, and we go with a sound. It goes like... Can you join in? We go... Come on, please, that's science, okay? And, but you remember those 2 cards that were not the same? Mm-hmm. Let's have a look at them now. Can you turn the card over and maybe... I didn't see that. Oh, it's synchronized. Oh, getting somewhere. That seems to work. Maybe place that there, okay? Want to try that again? Okay, maybe you have a look at your next card. Just turn it over and see what you have. Is it the same? No, look, I've got that one. You got an 8, for example. Yeah, can be any. And now the idea is to try that again, but by now you know the lines, of course, okay? So very slowly, I won't even come close. You go like this. That sounds good. And have a look, and maybe it happened again, and now we have exactly the same card again. So yeah, I mean, it's physics, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you place that there. Okay. Now, so far, we tried this with the top card. But we can use any card, really. You just have to change pitch, okay? So, Terry, maybe could you name, say, a number between 5 and 10? What would you like?
6.
6. Okay, no, 6, of course, is a bit lower in the deck, okay? So it's not... But 6 is actually... Can we try? Okay, we go... Okay, yeah, the key point here is dignity, okay? Very important. And well, let's see if that worked. I'll go first. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place that out and the rest on top. And maybe, Connie, can you do the same thing? Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 6th card goes to the side. You can place the rest on top. And now remember, those were 2 genuinely, thoroughly shuffled decks, right? Now the card at the 6th position in my deck happens to be the 4 of diamonds. Now, Connor, could you show us which card you shuffled to the 6th position in your deck? And it is exactly the same card. Can you see that? Exactly the 4 of diamonds. So thank you very much. Here we go. That's pretty cool. Oh, but you know what? That worked pretty well, actually. We might as well try and go all the way, okay? Shall we try and synchronize the whole decks? We can do that, maybe. Could you hold the deck in your hand again? Oh, but for this, I need all your help, okay? Maybe you can all join in. We use the collective resonance of our audience here tonight. So, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Perfect. Oh, the Penn and Teller singers, ladies and gentlemen. That works really well. Now, I wonder what happened to those decks. Conrad, could you turn over the top card? Let's have a look. And you have an ace. And look, I've got an ace. That's pretty good. When you just place it there, you have a look at the next card. Let's see what that is. You got a 3. And I got a 3. Very good. Maybe the next card. That's looking good. You got a 7. I got a 7. So I go first. Look, I've got the queen. Yeah, show. You got the queen. I've got the 5. And what do you got the 5? Look, I got the 2. And you got to show everybody the bottom card just to see how far that actually reaches. Oh, well, maybe we're not quite on the bottom yet. We go. And yes, now there we have exactly the same card. And so we take this, and I think we did it. Each and every card completely synchronized throughout the whole deck up to the very last. Thank you very much. That is synchronizing decks. There you go.
Hartling!
Thank you very much. Hello. Hello, Alison.
Wow.
Good to see you. Hi.
Nice to see you. Do you think you fooled Penn and Teller?
Well, you know, Penn is also a musician. So he's very familiar with all those frequencies and sound waves and stuff. He might actually understand the physics of that better than I do. I'm not sure. You never know.
Have you ever had what people might consider a real job?
Well, back in Frankfurt at university, I studied psychology and linguistics and philosophy. So, no.
So tell me about magic in Germany.
Magic is actually doing pretty well in Germany right now. We have between maybe 30 and 40 small close-up theaters built specifically to watch magic. So in that respect, it is almost a little bit like a golden age.
Awesome.
Think, yeah.
All right, well, let's check in, see if they can guess your magic. Boys.
Boy, that's a beautiful routine.
Oh, thank you.
You don't usually see things that complex. You have one thing, then you add on to it, and you add on to it, and you add on to it, and there's just more and more things just piling up one after the other. There's just a complexity. And then one of the things that's wonderful about magic is after you've just a little ways in, you do these really heavy provers, and then we start to trust you. And as you know, that's a huge mistake in magic.
That is true, as you would know.
Yes,
right?
yes, as we would know. So we think we've given you a few little hints you can take to the bank there. Yeah,
that's true. I think I can accept that.
Okay, good.
Okay, they figured it out.
Yes,
well,
I think they did. So thank you very much.
After the break, Penn and Teller try to bust more magicians. They'll also perform a trick of their own. Don't go anywhere. Magicians use methods that are underhanded. This next magician is from Australia, so she uses methods that are down underhanded. Take a look.
In Australia, everybody has a kangaroo in their backyard. I've grown up with magic. My dad's a very well-respected magician in Australia, so I've grown up with it. And we've been working together now for about 36 years. I heard some of my dad's friends talking one night about the water torture escape. And I, of course, piped up and said, hang on a minute, I could do anything as good as what you could do. And there was no turning back. I was the first woman in the world to perform Houdini's water torture escape. That's a good feather in my cap. I have 2 tricks that are unique. No one else in the world is doing them. This is Australia versus Vegas, and it's on.
Please say good day to Helen Coghlan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to show you a trick which is the only one of its kind in the world. This, of course, makes it unique. I'm using a glass, also a plastic tube. On each end of the tube are 2 caps, and you'll notice that these caps have a hole right in the centre. Now, the reason for these holes will become obvious in just a moment. I'll take the glass and fill it with milk. Oh, fill it right up to the top, to about there is fine. Cover the glass. But I'd like to show you or mention to you that the glass completely fills the tube and there is no gap between the glass and the tube for any sneaky little business. place the top cap on. Now, if I took a solid copper rod and told you I could push this rod all the way through the glass of milk, you might think that was impossible. But we all know with magic that sometimes the impossible is actually possible. Take that right out the other end. Take the top cap off. Take off the tube. And all I can say is cheers. Thank you. Now, because I have come all the way from Australia, I thought I'd give you 2 tricks for the price of 1. And the next trick is also one of a kind. It's actually a trick using my grandfather's old tennis racket. He doesn't use it anymore. He's dead. Now, I hope you don't mind, but I'd like to take the liberty at this point to rewrite the rules. And let's agree that if even one of these 2 tricks fools you, I still get to take home the trophy. I'll take that as a yes. Alison, can you please give me a hand with this trick?
Sure.
Would you please like to make sure it's empty? Show everybody that there's nothing in the cover. I'll show everybody the racket. You happy with that?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now, with this trick, there is just a word of warning. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Game, set, and match. Thank you.
Whoa, Helen Coghlan! That's incredible! Wow. It was so quick. I'm glad I didn't blink.
I'm glad it worked.
Yes. So, you've been doing magic for how long?
Oh, pretty much for all my life. My dad's a magician, Arthur Coghlan. He's a very well-respected magician in Australia. So I've grown up with magic.
And did you come up with this trick, or did you and your father?
Dad came up with that trick, so that's why it's one of a kind.
So did your dad come with you tonight?
He did. Mum and Dad and my daughter have made the trip from Australia.
Yay! Where are they? So, do you think you'll fool Penn Teller?
Yes.
Yes. I like your confidence. How come?
Well, for this to start with, this is the only one of its kind in the world, so they wouldn't have seen that, and hopefully they won't have figured out how to do it.
All right, I think it's time to check in with the dudes.
Okay.
Guys.
All the way from Australia, Helen, with your little tricks.
Yep.
You gave us 2 tricks. Then you came out and you kind of framed the tennis racket thing in kind of an elastic way that kind of said we had to do both of them. And I think I'll give you maybe a little bit of an idea of how one of them might be done. One of them did not fool us. The other one we're kind of puzzling about. There's 2 tricks. Well, the one trick we got one trick.
Okay.
No problem on that. Would you like a sketch on how the one trick is done? Because we have that one. We could get that built right today. We got one. There's no, and we'd like to tell you, we'd like to change the rules right now and say, if we figured out one of them, I think we figured out, but
No deal.
we thought maybe that the milk thing had a little gasket in the bottom, but then the wand came out dry, and that bugged us. And then we thought you had a little channel in the center of it. But we saw the overhead shot, and it was milk all the way across. And that bugged us. So let's get back to the tennis racket work.
No. Let's stick with the milk.
We got you nailed on the tennis racket thing. So we think we would like to give you half a trophy. But since this is television, and you came all the way from Australia, we were going to give it but the tennis racket. Can we tell you, brothers and sisters to fool us. The tennis racket did not fool us. That fooled us. Nicely done. Tennis racket didn't fool us.
Penn and Teller are fooled. And we're just getting warmed up. They're taking on more magicians when Fool Us returns. Where we scour the earth for the world's best magicians. We found our next performer in Israel. Take a look.
Basically, as a mentalist, you can read minds, you can bend spoons, you can move objects. I don't claim to have supernatural powers, but I have superhuman powers. Besides being a performer, I'm also an inventor in magic. Some of my ideas, they take over a decade to come out because I'm my own biggest critic, and if I don't like it 110%, it's not coming out for the world. I'm using real objects, sharp objects. One time I performed something called the spike effect, where I was trying to find a hidden knife with my eyes blindfolded. Because I let my guard down, the knife went through my palm. Penn and Teller know so much about magic, but because what I do is something that nobody else does, I might actually fool them.
Please welcome the powerful mind of Menny Lindenfeld.
Thank you. Alison, hi. Would you please come here and take a seat right here? The amazing Alison, everybody. Alison, in a moment, I will attempt to manipulate matter without touch. In fact, I'm going to teach you how to do this.
Thanks.
You know, it's like bending a spoon, basically. But instead, I'm going to use these metal objects that I've collected from the audience before the show.
Wow.
So, for example, here we have a glass filled with coins. And please examine these coins. And while you do, I want to also show that I have here a few eyeglasses that I have collected. And I would like to thank those who lended me the glasses and also apologize that they won't be able to see my show. And Alison, one more thing. I also have this.
Oh.
Now that
Somebody
is a saw.
likes saws.
And I did not collect this from the audience.
Thank goodness.
Right. And the reason I've chosen a saw is because the blade is made of hardened steel, and no matter what you do, this cannot be bent, basically.
Right.
All right? But we come back to this in a moment. Would you please take any coin out, just one coin, and hand me all the rest of them? And I want you to sign your coin. Perfect. And you can blow on the coin to make sure the ink is dry. Very nice. And I'll take the coin. I just want to show it to the camera again. This is Alison's coin with Alison's signature. Now, Alison, I promised that you are going to do this tonight, right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your right hand and open it like this. Take the coin, put it in your right fist like so. Hold your hand straight out like this and concentrate on the coin the entire time. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what to do, okay? I'm going to use the other coins, and I'm going to stand right here, and here's what I'm going to do. I want you to think in your mind that this coin is becoming softer and softer and softer. It just becomes softer. It's all in your mind. And slowly start massaging the coin. Can you feel it bending now in your hand?
Maybe.
Yes, it's starting a little bit, right? Yeah? Turn your hand around. And open your hand. I want you to put your coin right here. Now, I want to show this to the audience. This is your signature right there.
Yes.
And the coin is bent, and it has bent in your closed fist. I didn't do it, she did. Wait, please, no. I want to show you first that what happens to the other coins. You see, this coin is bent, this coin is bent, this coin is bent, this coin is bent. In fact, every single coin there is now bent. The amazing Alison. That's
amazing. That's totally...
And Alison, I'm going to try some more. Can you look at me? Please, I'm going to put this on your face like this. Oh, can you look at the camera? Doesn't she look good, right?
Oh.
Yes? It's a little hard. It makes you dizzy a little bit,
Somebody is definitely not seeing this show.
Can you look at me?
Yeah.
Okay, Alison, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to put both your hands like this, and I want you to focus on this spot right there.
Right there?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, be very serious about it, okay?
Yeah.
Now, here's what we are going to try to do, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Focus with me. Let's do some movement. Alison, let's put this on you, right there. Look at her. Alison, let's do something more. Here, take this, put this on. This is for protection, okay? And I want you to put this on as well, right there. Perfect. And if you don't mind, can you stand right here next to me? I'm going to ask you, which one do you prefer? Take this, take it out, and here's what I want you to do. Take it, hold it. Yeah, I'm going to hold it. It's very dangerous.
Totally use the saw.
Hold this like so,
okay.
And this is going to be the indication saw. You know what that means?
No.
It means that in a moment we are going to compare these two saws like this, all right? And I want you to concentrate on the saw with me, okay?
Okay. On my saw?
On my saw, yeah. Look, it bent a little. Let's do some more. Teller, this is for you. And Ken, you like glasses, so I'm gonna bring this to you.
So, is that a good idea to give him the stuff?
I hope.
Wow. So when did you decide you could start bending metal?
Well, I come from Israel, right? And in Israel, everybody looks up to one guy. His name is Uri Geller. He was, in the 70s, very famous, and he made spoon bending very famous.
Yes.
And since I was a kid, when my friends would stand outside in the field, play soccer, right? I would stand in front of flowers, try to move them with my mind.
Oh.
And at one point, it actually did move.
Nice.
And I was super excited about it.
Yeah.
Today, I look back and I know it's just the wind that did it. But
Yeah. Have there been any props that you just couldn't bend?
Well, not yet anyway.
No, good.
The biggest thing I've ever bent was a jet engine, the blade of the jet engine.
Wow.
Which was the hardest thing to ever do, but it was okay, yeah.
Did I really do that trick?
Yeah, it's in your hand, it's your signature, and take this coin, it's for you.
Yes, I do want to. Are you going to give the...
Although you owe a quarter for somebody in the audience. I don't
Okay,
know. Yeah.
exactly. Okay, I think they're ready.
Yeah, they are? Okay.
Let's go check with them. Boys.
Menny. Boy, there's a lot going on here. You do one of our favorite things in magic, which is doing apparently the same trick with different methods all the time, all the way through. But there's the most important thing you use is a wonderful technique of magic, which is the displacement of time. Just things happening at a different time than we might think they were happening. And I also love the fact that for one of the tricks, and I won't say which one unless you pushed me, but you were doing a great deal of effort to do the exact opposite of what it looked like you were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you with them?
Yeah, you're too smart, man.
They're very smart.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Up next, we make Penn and Teller disappear from their chairs and make them reappear on this stage. The bad boys of magic, Penn and Teller, perform right after this. Penn and Teller are so good, not only do they give away other people's secrets, they also give away their own. Ladies and gentlemen, Penn and Teller.
You can stay right there, Allison. I'm going to show you the trick. Now,
we're going to show you this trick, Allison. I'm going to teach you and the whole audience how it's done, okay? This is one with, buy 3 or 4 containers of mint. So these little mini containers, you've seen them there. You just take 2 of them and just dump them out. So you've got 2 empty containers of mints and 1 full container of mints. And this takes the form of a gambling game. You know that the mints are in that one, and these 2 are empty, right? So, Allison, very carefully, just watch Teller's fancy moves. We'll teach you this later, and see if you can follow where the mints are, okay? You knew where they were to start. Now, keep your eye on him. Watch him. He's holding 2 at a time there. Now, Allison, which one of these 3 containers now contains the mints?
The middle one?
The middle one? Well, Allison, you were wrong because it's actually over there, okay? Well, watch again. He's going to mix it up. You know where they are now. Keep your eye on it. I'm trying to make it a little easier this time. Now, Allison, where are the mints?
Definitely the middle one.
Definitely the middle one? Well, Allison, you didn't get that right. If it makes it a little easier for you, we'll take one of the ones and put them aside. So we only have 2 left. We'll take one of the empty ones, put it there. And now we'll just mix them up again. Now, you know where it is. Mm-hmm. Watch it carefully now. Where's it now, Allison?
The right one.
No, Allison, is actually not. You're right. Now, we promised you, Allison, that we would show you how this was done, okay? So why don't you take one of the empty ones and hold that right in your hand, okay? And Teller will take the full one and put it in his hand, okay? Now, watch this, Allison. If you were to guess right, we would just do this and move them from his to you. So it's all done with real magic. Open that up. You'll see that that's where the mints are, right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, obviously, Allison, we don't do it with real magic. We do it with is the fact that you can't really tell the directionality of sound. So Teller can just take any one of the empty ones and make it look like it has mints in it. Remember at the beginning I said carefully buy 3 or 4 of the tins? We actually buy 4, and one of the tins is right up his sleeve like that. So whenever he shakes his hand, we can make it seem like he's got that there. Now, mints are not quite loud enough, so what you want to do is take the container and fill it with, you know, some metal nuts there. Gives you a little more sound. And also, Teller loves nuts. And then when he does it, he can do it with the whole body. There's the trick you can do at home. Just get yourself 4 mince containers and a few nuts.
That's all for tonight. If you want more Fool Us, we'll be here waiting for you when you come back.